it poppin'? What's poppin'? It is your host, Tara Chantel. Welcome back to another Take the Lead podcast. But we got a bad talk session, and I'm so excited. I have my good friend in the building. You play such a huge role on my journey. I just want to thank you so much. But please introduce yourself for the people. Let them know who you is.
Thank you, Tara. Thank you. I am Bryshan White, originally from San Diego, California. I'm an actor, creative, individual. Love anything creative, anything funny. Like Tara said, she definitely has been someone a part of my journey too, for sure. Her and I know the reality of hustling and bustling, to get to where we want and get to what we want. You know what I'm saying? So just a hardworking individual, actor. Yeah.
I love how you mentioned we know the hustle, especially in this journey, because we do not do the handouts. We go get it.
Yes.
Talk about that, of just how you have just such a hustler mentality. I remember when we first met at an audition. I don't know if you remember.
No. Well, it wasn't the audition, or was it on set? Because also we was on set together too. Remember that?
We was just meant to be on this journey though. But I think the first one was we were at the lobby in this hotel. It was like a lobby type feel, and it was the audition. And I just remember it was like near Atlanta.
Mm-hmm. I know what you're talking about. It was like downtown.
Like we were literally crossing paths. You was heading out, I was heading in. Talk to us about your journey of doing like the ups and the downs and the rejection process, because I know I was rejected on that audition.
I think I was too, or I wasn't available or something like that. I couldn't do it, for whatever reason. But my journey, I mean, as simple as this. When I've been acting literally since I was 12 or 13 years old. Me and my mom used to take me to LA for auditions on and off. So I was being told no at 14 years old. So I learned early on, this really ain't no type of get it overnight type of thing. If this is something you want to do, you know what I mean? You really have to stay consistent and focused on what it is that you want. So within my journey, you know what I mean? I've definitely became comfortable with rejection, because you got to be. You're not going to get everything you want, you know what I mean? But just because you don't get it don't mean it's not where you headed, you know what I mean? And I'm one of those people, I know exactly where I'm headed. And as long as I stay on this, this path, what's for me is going to be for me regardless, no matter what, you know what I mean? So that's just kind of how I view it.
Oh, how did you get there though? Viewing it in such a belief within yourself, knowing whatever is for me, and it can't miss me.
Well, because I've seen it. I've seen it. I never would have thought after graduating drama school I would move to Atlanta, but I did. It happened. It wasn't in the plan for real, but it happened. And literally when I moved here, I started to see really more success, you know what I mean? Just in general within my life compared to where I was, you know what I mean? So that for sure. And then just the motivation in my life, my mom, you know what I mean, pushing me and being one of my biggest support systems. And I am a church baby. I was raised in church, you know what I mean? So I definitely have that faith aspect to me as well. So I would say that's how I got there, really just knowing that, seeing the results.
Seeing the results. And sometimes, how you mentioned before, it's not overnight, even though we hope for it to just happen in an instant. But I believe that God is preparing us throughout this journey, because if it would have happened overnight, I don't think we would appreciate it.
No, and not only that, for real, Tara, to keep it a buck with you, #keep it a buck.
Come on, buck.
We don't be ready for what we think we're ready for. We don't. And we need that time to season and bake and whatever it is that we are preparing for. Because and we see it with anybody, you know what I mean? You have people out there who have hit success like that and they crumble, right? Because they probably wasn't ready for sure. You know what I mean? We really don't be ready for what we think we are ready for. But as long as you know that and you keep on that track, and that's all you could do, right? All I can do is practice my self-tape auditions, do the auditions that my agent sends me, self-submit, look up actor webinars. That's all I can do. That's the groundwork. You know what I mean? As long as you're doing what you need to be doing, that's all you can do.
Wow. I love that. That is truly mind blowing. We don't be ready what we be asking for. And I'm telling you, because a new level is a new devil. So
Yes.
the way that you really prepare, you're not only preparing like physically with your acting chops, but you got to be prepared mentally and
Mentally,
spiritually.
yeah.
I would
Yeah.
love for you to go into that aspect of how do you prepare what you ask God for spiritually.
Spiritually, oh, that's a great question. Dang, that's a great question. Ooh, spiritually, how do I prepare for that? Knowing that my gift is beyond me, it's more than me. You know what I mean? Like it's more than what Bryshan can do. You know what I mean? It's meant to share, having that purpose for real. You know what I mean? Like that's that purpose, knowing that you are here for a reason, for sure. That trumps it more than anything. And then my faith. You know what I mean? Like I said, like I just I may not always know where I'm headed, but I know I'm going somewhere. You know what I'm saying? The bus is arriving somewhere.
And just being open for the obstacles, for the different detours that might arrive in our journey is so key. Because I was just saying, like, I don't know how it's gonna happen, but it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
And it's not our job to ask when, because that's what
When.
makes us so off the course and not into our purpose. Because if this is your purpose, you're doing this longevity.
Yeah. So you in it for the long haul, regardless. Absolutely. Yeah.
Man, so that is just so important. I was just learning that time is moving faster than it's supposed to be moving.
Yeah. Especially with 2020. I feel like 2020 just like, you know what I mean? Like we just went through a whole vortex of like crap. You know what I mean? Like 2020 just that's it. That's it.
Yes. Where do you think the world is headed and you're headed in 2021?
Ooh, that's a great question. Come on, questions. So, for one, with where the world is headed, I mean, I don't mean to get too political, but with this election stuff, I personally did have hope that Donald Trump would be removed from office. I did have hope. I believed it. I felt it, and he is. You know what I mean? Like, so that is a good step. But I think I can't say that I know for real, because with the COVID stuff, you know what I mean? Who knows? Like, there's no telling. I feel like we're watching a TV show where every episode it just gets crazier and crazier and crazier. So, you know, but for me personally, where I'm headed is just continuing to be grounded. You know what I mean? Continuing to be spiritually aligned, owning my truth, owning who I am, like, and continuing to not be afraid to not please people. You know what I mean? Like I'm that's where I'm headed. I'm headed on some like, this is who I am. And I want a life where the people in my life are going to love me 1,000, or you're not a part of it. You know what I mean? Because that's my energy I got to protect. You know what I mean? Protecting my peace. So yeah.
Come on, protecting your peace. And how I protect my peace is I don't even pay attention what's going on outside of my realm, my vortex, my universe. So how they are trying to play us like puppets and pull our string with everything that's going on, that is truly how to suck us dry. They are energy vampires, and we can't even feed into the noise that they are trying to dish out. Turn off that TV.
Turn off that news. Turn off that CNN.
They are only giving you bad news. That is news.
No. And you know what, Tara? There's power in that, because when you get conflicted with what's going on with everybody else except yourself, you're not gonna know who you are. You're not gonna know like what you need to do for you and what you got going on. You know what I mean? You got to be embedded in your, like you said, your realm more than anything. And that's really the direction I'm headed for sure this year. 1,000%.
Yes. Tell us how you protect your energy, because I feel like that is so necessary.
So I'm definitely like, and this is kind of just like stems from drama school and stuff. I do yoga, you know what I mean? I stretch. I believe in meditation too. It's a hard practice, but I do believe in it. And actually the other day I meditated for like 45 minutes, and I low-key had like an outer body experience for real. You know what I mean? Like it was like my body, like I literally was just like, my body was so relaxed, but I felt my mind still so conscious, you know what I mean? Still so activated in this like calm state. So I definitely want to do that more, but that just prepares you for your day. You know what I mean? Preparing you to just like, if anything comes your way, you can like not let it phase you. You know what I mean? So that's definitely one of the ways. Music too. I don't know if you follow me on Instagram, like I write music here and there. I love to write little songs and stuff like that. Like I love melody and things like that. So listening to music, writing music, you know what I mean? That just makes me feel sane. Reading, you know what I mean? Depending on if I'm in a reading mood. Yeah. Anything where I can learn for real too. You know what I mean? Anything where I can learn and feel like I'm doing something. You know what I mean? Like,
yes, we got to like build our stamina mentally, physically, and emotionally. You did in all different areas. I would love for us to talk about music because I was learning like just the hurt sounds is so important. Music is so healing. But unfortunately, the mainstream music that they are promoting is very demonetized. It's very to put you on such a low frequency level in life. And I don't think most people are not even aware of it and conscious of it because they just hear the beat, but they're not paying attention to the lyrics that is playing with their subconscious mind. Can you talk more about just the healing aspect in music?
For myself, or like just how I
yourself, because you said you just be saying you be writing and
no, I do, but no, for real. And well, to answer your question, I'll say I'm someone who loves just melody. You know what I mean? And just I'm an R&B head, straight up. I'm an R&B head. I love a subtle R&B. That's me all the way. So like the hip hop trap stuff is cool, right? If you want to turn up vibe, whatever, but like in the morning, I gotta listen to some soft, like I might play some Jhené Aiko, you know what I mean? Like I just, you know what I mean? Like I'm just big on melody and just in lyrics that just hit, you know what I mean? You ever just hear a song that just hits you? Like I'm big on that. So I think that answers your question. I'm not sure, but
you talking about it gotta be in the soul.
It gotta hit you, yeah. Like you gotta be like you ever hear a song for the first time and be like, damn, let me run that back. Hold on.
Oh, run it. Let me run that back. But it's rare to find nowadays to having a song that hits you. What about the music, the mainstream music? Where do you feel like it's going? Because unfortunately, it's playing with the youth. It's really
yeah. I mean, I think we've been seeing music lose its substance for some time. You know what I mean? Like just to keep it honest, we have. And I feel like it's been made easier for a lot of these music artists to do less, to not put as much of themselves. Like the artistry is missing sometimes. You know what I mean? Like everything is just about trend. It's about buzz. You know what I mean? Like even the Busted song, I never heard of Erica Banks, right? And I'm sure she's talented, but all she needed is a little 6-second TikTok and her song is a smash hit. You know what I mean? Like it's become easier. So I feel like it's going to continue to get that way. But what I do appreciate is the artists who do have that true artistry and do bring a lot of themselves to their music. We notice it and they get the popularity. You know what I mean? Like we definitely notice those artists. I notice those artists, but I also think when it comes to music, it's up to the person. Like it's stuff out there for you to access. You just got to be willing to look for it too. You know what I mean? Like that's just part of it. And I think that goes back to the mental. What are you into? What do you want to hear? How do you want to feel? You know what I mean? So that it's definitely out there. There's something out there for everyone. You just got to look for it.
It was like a quote, like if you're ready for a teacher, your teacher will find you. Or whenever you truly get conscious and aware for your awakening moment. And that's so true because conscious music is out there, but you really have to do the work and search what resonates with your soul at the end of the day. Because honestly, I was just observing this fast music, how you said you can do less now and just get the praise that the viral, the clout that you are so desiring for. Because I don't hear a lot of finished albums no more. Like nobody be coming out with albums.
Well, not only that, people are putting out albums, but I feel like there is no like structure or concept with the bodies of work that are coming out. You know what I mean? Like one of my favorite albums straight up off top, and I don't know if you've heard of him. His name is Darius Scott. He's actually from Atlanta and he has an album called I can't think of the name, but Darius Scott, look him up. Literally one of my favorite albums that's came out in the past because it's a real album. There's a beginning, there's a middle, there's an end, there's an overall story. You feel like you get to know him. You know what I mean? Like It's yeah, I don't know. I feel like that's what's missing though, like concepts for albums. People don't do that anymore. Like people just put out, you know, a little 10, 11 track list type thing, you know what I mean? They got their up tempo songs, the low melodic songs, and it's like, you know, this is my album, you know. Tiana Taylor actually had a great album too come out in 2020.
Oh, yes.
Her album was good.
You're talking about body of work right there. That's
Yeah,
true.
exactly.
It's rare to see body of work, man.
Yeah.
And man, I want to just switch gears from music and now talk about manifestation. Of course, that is like very trendy right now. Can you tell us, for those who really don't know and ain't hip on game, what does manifestation mean to you?
Manifestation to me just means like making things come to fruition and just your reality, right? Like it's literally that simple. Like if there's something you think that you want or something you want to do and you get it, let's say you apply for that job, you really worked hard to get that job, you worked on your resume, you made sure you went in the interview and killed it, you get the job, boom, that's the manifestation. That's, you know what I mean? It's just making things up here come true. You know what I mean? Like it's that simple.
You said it's
like
that simple, but I wonder why do we choose to make things more difficult than as it is?
Because not to go too deep for real, a lot of people just come from trauma, and like if we want to keep it a buck, like I know me, like I sometimes thrive in an anxiety-driven state. You know what I mean? And I have to check myself, like calm down. Let's not, you know what I mean? And I think because we love to. Not love, but we have no choice sometimes but to thrive in drama and this intense whatever. We just make stuff complicated because that's how we understand it. That's how we got to program it. That's how it makes sense to us. Like, let me make this more difficult than it needs to be so I can feel good about this situation. You know what I mean? Like,
wow, that is
true.
Deep. That is true. I run into people that feel like they need some type of drama in whether it's their relationship or their friendship. If things are just too peaceful, it's
like let's talk.
I wonder like what stems that though, like to just feel like we have to continuously be in this rat race. We continuously need chaos in order to survive in here when you can really choose peace. You can
just said it though. You just said it. You said survival, literally. It's survival of the fittest. Like that's what it is too. You know what I mean? People feel like it's the Hunger Games. You know what I mean? I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do to make sure I'm good. Survival. That you just said it. Survival.
How did you get out of the survival mode to really just realize, okay, what they trying to do is not working and it's not working for me? So how did you take yourself away from that?
I'm not gonna hold you. Some days I might still be in survival mode. It just depends on the day. But I think because I'm someone who like all my mood and everything, anxiety, everything just fluctuates. So for 2-3 weeks, I might be on an uptick where I'm like stressed, you know, and then I'll come back down for, you know, 3 weeks to a month and a half where I'm like, okay, I'm back on a level playing field. Reality has kicked in, whatever. But to answer your question, I think just being aware, you know what I mean? Being aware of what I'm doing when I'm doing it, like just being self-aware and being mindful of like, you know what I mean? Just being mindful of my reactions, just being mindful.
Wow, being mindful is like truly a powerful state to be in. And also just being mindful of what are you manifesting? So if you are manifesting peace, that's gonna happen. If you are manifesting drama, that's gonna happen. I would love for you to tell us what have you manifested and what came to fruition for you.
What I've manifested, for one, I feel like great friendships, great connections with people. You know what I mean? I would like to think I'm very good at just getting to know people, you know what I mean? And establishing a comfort level with people. So that for sure. I've manifested some mentor-like relationships, and that's something I've searched for a long time. Like just having someone that I could look up to that's not even anything like family related, just someone who does what I do or similar, you know what I mean? And being able to look up to them and trust them. I've manifested a nice little job, you know what I'm saying?
Come on, for real. Hey.
You know, but and we're gonna get into that too, because that's one of the topics. But just yeah, and then I did manifest the agent in 2020, which was nice, you know what I mean? I feel like it's that kind of was just really about like who I knew, you know what I mean, at that time, and who was willing to like help me, you know, figure some stuff out. And for 2021, I'm saying it now, I'm manifesting this acting work, you know what I mean? It's happening, you know what I mean? It's going to happen. So
it has already happened. We got to just
already
act
happened.
up to it. That's it.
Exactly. I manifested this new, you know, place. It was unfortunate that how it happened, you know what I mean, how we got here, but it manifested in itself, and you know, I was able to get that done. So you know what I mean? Like, yeah.
It's so much power in our thoughts. It's so much power in our words. And I love for you to just go deeper into, how do you talk to yourself? How do you truly speak affirmations over your life every single day?
Yeah, but one of the affirmations actually, because like going back to my anxiety, right? So there was a time where I was in a really, really low place, just anxious, having night terrors as I went to sleep, stuff like that. And you know, the musical The Color Purple with Cynthia Erivo, she sings a song on there called I'm Here. And I would listen to that song every morning and then look in the mirror and say, all that I am, all that I know, all that I ever will be at all is great. You know what I mean? Just saying that to myself. And then sometimes, you know, I check myself. I'd be like, Bryshan, come on, that wasn't cool. You didn't have to do that. Like, chill out, my nigga. You know what I mean? Like, chill out. You know, so just being real with myself throughout the day. You know what I mean? Even stuff with my granny, like her and I might have a, you know, conversation that go a little left, and I'd be like, okay, you didn't have to do that. You didn't have to, you know what I mean? So just being real with myself, you know what I mean? Like just being my source of comfort, you know what I mean?
I believe we got to be our best friends, our biggest fans, our biggest cheerleaders, because why are we choosing to be our worst enemy?
Right.
Ourselves.
Yeah,
it's
no, for real.
Important to be nice to ourselves, and especially not to self-sabotage. So the fact of the matter is, we be doing that. We be dimming our light. We be playing small for what we don't be so boldly in our truth. So I would love for you to just talk about self-sabotage and how we can avoid that in all aspects.
Ooh, self-sabotage. Well, I know for me, the ways I self-sabotage myself, I think Instagram for sure. I get on the gram and I start looking at people's stuff and I'm like, what? You know what I mean? I start to compare myself and things like that. And then also, not for nothing, keeping people around, like I said earlier, who don't really deserve to be in your realm, you know what I mean? But how I think we can avoid self-sabotage is being real with yourself, even if it hurts, even if it's ugly, you know what I mean? Whether that pertains with family, friends, relationships, anything, being real with yourself. And then challenging yourself, breaking those little cycles that you have of yours. You know what I mean? If you know, like one thing my boss says at work, she's like, try something else. You know what I mean? You know, try something else. If that's not working, what you're doing is not working, try something else. Try something else. You know what I mean? Like if the way you're going about something, you're getting the same result, you need to self-assess and be like, okay, what can I do differently? So that's definitely one of the ways to break self-sabotage as well. Yeah, and then believing in yourself. If you don't, you better, because the world don't do it enough, right? The world treats us bad enough. The world don't like us enough. The world is mean to us enough. And it's like, at least be nice to yourself. You know what I mean? At least be yourself of self-comfort. You know what I mean? Like be your source of self-comfort for sure.
Come on, like we gotta really be our own best friends. That's what have the most successful relationship with ourselves, but sometimes we tend to look outwardly for someone to make us whole or complete. We have to depend on ourselves first. And I love how you mentioned about the comparison with Instagram. I be having to tell myself, I'm like, they probably they sold for that. They probably, you know, they going bankrupt on the road, because social media is
they broke for real. They ain't got no money. You know what I'm saying? Like you ain't got it like that. Knock it off.
You just gotta tell yourself, because the negative talk be trying to make it seem like we're less than. So you gotta talk to yourself like, you know, it's not what it seems. It's not.
Yeah, it's really not, because not for nothing, Instagram and social media in general, it's all a highlight reel. It really is. I think we all do it. Everyone wants to show their best self. Everyone wants to show the joyous time, but don't nobody want to show when they got $20 in their bank account. Ain't nobody gonna post that. Ain't nobody gonna post when, you know, they can't afford them shoes, or when they card decline, or when they didn't get the job, or when they didn't get that audition. We're not gonna show that. You know what I mean? So that's what it be too. Like, but we just assume that, oh, they got to figure out there's something that they're doing that I'm not doing it. And it's like, that's self-sabotage, literally.
Mhm.
That's like the rabbit hole of self-sabotage.
Yes, and I feel like that was just their strategic plan of creating social media just based off of like followers and just be like,
Yeah,
okay, let me like this instead of like a
hmm,
true, solid, genuine connection that you can build.
yeah,
It's so
yeah.
shallow.
So shallow, absolutely. Absolutely. Like it's crazy too, because I don't know if you do this, but sometimes I've had to check myself on it. I'm on Instagram, I click a profile, I'm like, oh, they got X amount of likes. Okay, let me see what they're about. You know what I mean? You automatically take them more serious. Like it's crazy for real. It's crazy that
Wow.
we're conditioned to like even do that because it's really not good, like at all.
Oh yeah, because now it's just showing really the shallowness that we believe like, oh, you have this amount of followers, so that makes you some type of importance. And that's what
Yeah.
people truly base their beliefs on now. And nowadays you can just buy those followers.
Buy
They
them, yeah.
not real.
I've talked to people who've been like, oh yeah, she downloaded the app, bought her followers, and now she got 250K. You know what I mean? Like,
It's
you know,
literally an illusion. So I would love for you to just speak encouraging words, especially to the youth, because they can really get caught up in that and not
in
be
that, no, listen, I got a cousin now, and like he low key, not only getting caught up in the followers, but this whole like at 13, you're already obsessed with how you're supposed to look. When you're 13, your appearance is going to change by the time you even get my age. So let that go. You know what I mean? But just to answer your question and to respond, like, just know, you know what I mean, that with or without the Instagram, without the social media, without the big following, without the popularity, you still are enough. You still are a whole person. You know what I mean? Half of those people don't even know you. The internet is a very dark place, as we know. So like, just understand that, like, in the big scheme of things, yes, it does matter if that's what you want to do, because people can monetize online, people can make it a career, XYZ. But like in the big grand scheme of things, you are enough with or without that. You know what I mean? Like, straight up.
with or without that. I
With or
believe
without
that
that.
God already like set the tone for us. And of course, they make it seem like we have to get qualified by these degrees or these man-made accomplishments or achievements that they have placed in this material realm. But I would
Yeah.
love for you to just speak on just about the limiting beliefs and like letting go of the limited belief system that truly we have been programmed at an early age. Because when we were young, we had these dreams, aspiration, we like knew
Mhm.
our purpose, but then life just begins to just take us up top and we lose
Yeah.
our innocence and our imagination.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, so with the limited beliefs, I mean, for me, like, I'm one of those people, I don't think you need a college degree to be successful. I don't. I'm just gonna be honest. I feel like, you know what I mean, and granted, because I went to drama school for 2 years and literally graduated with an associate's and kept it pushing, right? But that's what I wanted to do. And I think that it's so weird because I've met so many people, and I don't even mean to be like funny, but I've met a lot of people who do have the 4-year degree, you know what I mean, set up, and they went to college here, and then they work in a corporate job that they like or don't like or whatever. But it's like, that's not a personality trait. That's just accolades. And you got some people who are walking accolades. It's like, I went here, I graduated this is my degree, XYZ. And it's like, okay, but what else is there for real? And I'm one of those people, like, you gotta be in depth on the outside and in the inside. You know what I mean? And there's nothing like that school of life. I'm gonna tell you right now, I was 18, 19, 20 years old, roaming around LA broke. You know what I mean? Like, but also too, when I think about those times, I had some of the best times of my life, and I learned so much, and I have friendships with people that literally I hope will be lifelong. You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing like that school of life. I feel like when we're young, and I was talking about this on Clubhouse, like, when we're young, we're programmed to believe that we're supposed to graduate high school, go to college, get a degree, buy a house, get married, and that's your life, right? And that's just, it puts a cap on us. It's like, so I can't go travel the world if I wanted to, live in Iowa and learn like how to farm if I wanted to. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, yeah.
I I love how you mentioned like it truly puts a cap on our gifts. I feel it tries to keep us in check for real. Okay, they try to keep this in check, and this is the ladder of their quote unquote success that they put it out to be. But if you step out of that matrix and you step out of the norm, like, oh word, you're not about to have no kids. What you mean you selfish? You get looked down upon when you truly just want to do you. So how did you do you? So how did you build your confidence to just stand in your truth like that?
I mean, just living unconventional, you know what I mean? Like just literally doing me. I think for one, deciding to go to drama school as opposed to a 4-year university, that already says a lot, right? Like I'm deciding to just move to a city 2.5 hours away from where I'm from, not really knowing nothing, a little impressionable, you know what I mean? Just doing what I did. I don't know. That's really the only way I can answer that. And just how I've lived in my mindset, though. It's mindset, Tara. It's mindset. It's literally mindset. Like it's just mindset. You have those individuals who feel that they do have to grow up and they have to have that structured job and get married and build their house from the floor up and get their little 401k. And that's the cap of their life. That's not the cap of my life. And also what I don't like, why is the expectancy for Black people to go to school, graduate, become your little whatever job you got, and that's it? Like, we're more than that. We're way more than this, like, patriarchal setup for real, because that's what it is.
Yes.
And it's that formula, and not even to go too deep, it's that formula that's that formula that worked for the white boys and what, you know what I mean? That's what they do, because they daddies, they got that lineage of going to Princeton and going to Harvard and going to Yale and going to this and going to that. And then we try to copy that, and that's our whole value is what school we went to and this and that, but not for nothing, like, what's the street smarts like? You know what I mean? What you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I'm fine being unconventional and non-traditional. I'm fine with it.
Yes, drop the mic right there, because you said and that's when you got to be so bold with your truth. And I love that, because that is not going to work for us. We don't have anything to pass down to our youth. We don't have it. So we got to get it out the mud. We already steps
We're steps behind. You know what I mean? We're steps behind.
And why would we go into debt to work underneath somebody else, the white man or white company that is truly paying us pennies, when we are a walking brand? We are our own business. I mean,
think about the amount, like literally the amount of influence that Black people are just our humor, our culture alone influences everyone. Literally, it influences everything. So I don't feel like I need to have a 4-year degree to be able to be influenced and walk in a room and, you know what I mean? And be able to stand on my ones and my twos.
And I'm telling you, when you are approved by God, when you are chosen by God, you're not worried about some man to pick you. You already know you chosen. And that's when you got to really get bold in your truth and realize, okay, I don't need that. I don't need this, because I know who I am within.
Right, for sure. Absolutely. That's that destiny. That's a manifestation too. Going back is destiny. It's knowing that this track is moving. It's going somewhere. You know what I mean? And being zeroed in and what's for you.
Talk to us about how you know your purpose like that, for real. Because I feel like people, that's like a huge question for some people. People are searching for their purpose, but you already know it. We knew it when we were young.
Because not for nothing, I was the kid telling jokes. I was the kid dancing at the cookout. I was the kid just always in a performative space. You know what I mean? I was just that kid. I was just always the one who was like, I'll do it. You know what I mean? If it had anything to do with anything talent related. So from a young age then, and then just seeing like the fact that I was able to get auditions for Disney and Nickelodeon as a kid, like this is literally what I'm, supposed to do. I've always been a storyteller, literally always. I found when I was back home in San Diego last, I found a journal from when I was young, and back then, to me, it was just like I was writing a story. But when I was reading it, I was like, yo, this is a script for real. You know what I mean? Like this is, so it's just something that's always been in me. And I think when you continue to put attention toward that thing that just gives you that feeling, that's just how you know what I mean? And you're right, though. There are people who don't know what that is, or maybe they do and they're fearful, you know what I mean? But I think just, again, how I was my upbringing and stuff, and just be doing it so early. Like I just knew like this is it. This is the thing. You know, because within that too, I'm not boxing myself. Yes, I want to be an actor and get paid for that, obviously, but I'm going to write, I'm going to produce, I'm going to direct. You know what I mean? Like I'm going to do everything within that facet that I can. So
wow. And that is like life as a creative. How do you stay creative, especially in dark times?
Well, writing music, going back to that, that's like big. Reading plays, you know, I'm a drama school kid who studied like theater performance. So I would read a play all day. You know what I mean? Just reading a play. And August Wilson, you know what I mean? Great playwright. I even love Shakespeare for real. Learning new monologues, you know what I mean? Just putting my phone up and doing a monologue and just, you know, watching it and sending it to certain people, seeing what they think, getting inspired by watching movies. I love, have you watched Actors on Actors on Variety? It's like a thing that Variety does, and they have different interview each other. I love watching that. And I think I'm driven just by personal story in general. So everything doesn't even have to be related to entertainment industry. I could watch a documentary about something and feel inspired. You know what I mean? Just because I love people's stories. I love storytelling. You know, we all have a story inside of us. So yeah.
And we got to share everything that inside of us.
Yes.
I'm telling you, we cannot leave here full. Like, leave empty. Leave it all on the table. I'm putting everything out there. And how you put everything out there is truly being you and who you are called to be and not being in fear. So how did you shut fear out? Shut the noise out, like, especially since fear is just an illusion. It's an illusion for me.
It is. No, you're absolutely right. And but I think I'm still battling fear, number one. But fear, it's weird, because especially with fear as a creative, it's not even that it's fear most of the time. It's that it's you just being in your own way and doubting yourself and not loving or trusting yourself enough. And then that creates the feeling of fear. You know what I mean? It's really not that you're fearful. You're just holding yourself back. But how I combat that is, again, just saying do it. Like even with this today, I was thinking about it. I was like, you know, I really want to do something with Tara. I want to hop on her podcast. I want to do it. And then I was like, what am I doing? Just DM her. You know what I mean? It's that simple. Just doing it. Just literally just doing it. Whatever it is, you know what I mean? And I know for me, where I trip myself up is I try to analyze the steps. Like, okay, well, if I do this, I need that. And sometimes you can't do that. You can't try to get to the end without even starting at the beginning. You know what I mean? Like it's not gonna work.
Wow.
Because you have to get started.
Well, that's what you gotta just take one foot at a time.
Yeah,
one foot at a time. Because that is just a part of faith. If you truly believe, and it's so important that we trust ourselves again.
Yes. Like, do you think for real the people who built Google knew what they was doing? No.
Yo, nobody knows what they're doing.
Nobody knows. You know? And that's what I love about acting is there's a blueprint, but for real, like everybody's journey with it is different. Everybody's, you know what I mean, journey with the craft and just their career is just different. And that's the beauty of it, right? You know what I mean? That's the true beauty of it.
This journey is truly beautiful when you just lose all expectations for any and everyone.
Yeah.
Let it be.
Let it be, right?
And truly just flow with this universe. And that's just so important, because I realize that we are vibrational beings. So if you just keep your vibrations high, you are going to attract the success that you are desiring within your life. But I realize how much power we have, man. We are truly so powerful. How you stated about just manifesting your reality. We are the creators of our reality. And as being creatives as itself, like we can really create our own magic. It's just like we really get in our own way. For what?
For what? I know. And it's crazy too, because there's so many, and granted, I don't want to speak for other people, but I can only imagine the amount of people who do that because they were told no so much, or because they didn't have no one to believe in them, right? Like they didn't have that source of comfort and that belief and that support. And that's big too. You know what I mean? And I try to be that for the people in my life, like my friends and everything. I try to support them, you know what I mean? And be like, yes, you can do this. I believe in you. You know, it's important. It's important.
Man,
It's important.
it is so important that we continue to inspire each other because we are human. We're not gonna feel happy all the time.
All the time. Yeah, that's not real. That's not real. I was telling my coworker, I was like, can you try to count the amount of emotions you feel in one day or one work shift? You know what I mean? Like, could you imagine from when you first walk in the door to when you leave to go home, like all the ups and downs you've had? And not to say they need to be big, explosive, just little things. You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
And that's funny that you say that because I was just feeling like an ache in my back. And I was saying that like I feel like an ache in my back, but then I realized let me switch up my words. Like, my back feels good. So now my back truly feels good. If we during this whole time we've been talking, I don't even feel the ache in my back. But if we don't pay it no mind and don't give our attention to it, it's not going to serve us no purpose. So that's what we have to really be so mindful of what we give attention to. What are we feeding ourselves and our mind overall? Facts.
That's real. That's real. That's funny. That's a funny story about the back hurting. That's funny.
Like, oh, my neck and my back.
my neck. You are hilarious.
Man, this was so amazing. I want you to talk about like being productive while you're not in your dream job and trying to balance that lifestyle of just still going after what God called you to, but still gotta pay these bills at the end of the day.
Yeah, me like being productive with or without your dream job, you don't know who you're gonna meet no matter where you are. So at that point, you gotta sell yourself. You gotta talk to people and let them know who you are and what it is you do, because you never know. There's been so many times where I'm at work at the museum and I meet someone who is in film, because this is Atlanta, it's a big production hub, right? So many people that come in there that even actresses, like there was an actress that's on The Walking Dead that came in one time and her and I bonded over being actors. So I think just knowing that no matter where you are physically, you're still, you know, the person that you're going to be one day, or where you're headed, you're still that person. You don't have to, you know what I mean? I feel like we put such like everyone wants to have an LLC, everyone wants to be a CEO, and that's great for you to want to have that ownership of something. It's amazing, but not for nothing. Like, I don't have a problem working a job where I know this is secure money, and it also allows me to have that time to live my dream. I don't want to say pursue, because I'm not pursuing anything. I am living it. You know what I mean? Like, and that's real too. That's real.
We are living it. We
live in it. Exactly. Like my peers, you know what I mean? Like our peers are the same people. You know what I mean? Like we have peers who are doing it. Granted, they're at higher levels, but we're doing it too. You know what I mean? And that's the beauty of it. But I think that's just how I stay productive with or without the dream job. You know what I mean? Just knowing, having that discernment of like, I'm still who I am. You know what I mean? Like,
and I love that, because we cannot be defined by this present moment that we are in right now, and don't put labels on anything. As we are, I truly believe that these temporary jobs, and I don't even call them a job, they are our investors, because we're not going to invest in the bank to just pay it back. We don't have to pay this investor back. And if you are learning while you're earning, that is the key to everything, man.
It is, because not for nothing, you want to be that CEO where if you work in that job where you see the business heads is around you, talk to them, ask, you know what I mean? See what they do and see how they actually run a business. Because if you don't have that knowledge and you don't know, how are you supposed to start a brand, launch it, and have it be hugely successful? Or you know, how are you supposed to know how to lead people if you've never watched the leader and tried to see what they did wrong, what they did right? How are you supposed to know? How are you supposed to know? You know what I mean? Like, and it's not a bad thing to be in position to do some sort of work, or, you know, work in an environment that you know is not for you, because any moment is a learning moment. Like, you don't, that is limiting in itself. I feel it's limiting to yourself to say, I can't be in this moment because it's taken away from what I want to be and where I want to go. But whole time you could be learning, incubating in that moment or in that situation, and you miss that opportunity.
It's so powerful being in the present moment, here and now.
Yeah.
that is the true experience in this journey. We can't be so focused on the future of what is to come. People right now is preparing for a bad future that ain't gonna happen.
Yeah.
So if you are just alive right now, breathing healthy, that should be your gratitude moment right now. And I love how you mentioned how we are truly living our dream. We are truly doing it. And it may be on different levels, but that's where it comes in. Like, we can't even like compare levels.
Because you don't know how that person got there either, right? You don't know their story. You don't know if they went through hell and high water, or you know what I mean? You don't know what they went through. So
and I love that, because I believe like a lot of people, especially in just this material realm that we're in, because how you notice like everybody want to be a CEO and have an LLC, this and that, but truly I believe what is successful is like having that peace of mind. And a lot of people don't have that. People acting like they got money, but they don't got no peace. They're not happy for real. You can't fake the funk with me.
Yeah, no, you definitely can't. You definitely can't at all. Cause with or without the money or whatever, I'm gonna try my best to be in a good mood, and most likely will make you laugh, and you're gonna feel the vibration, and it just is what it is. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
Man,
so I second that, sis. I agree with you. I agree with you 1000%. And it's real. But you know what's crazy is like, it's also sad though, because that material stuff, like, my nana, my mom's mom passed away in September of 2019. And at her wake, my uncle Rodney, he told me, he was like, Bryshan, listen, your nana, she would go, she would go crazy over some money for real, but listen, she didn't take it with her. She didn't take it with her. It wasn't, you know what I mean? And it's like, and granted, I understand, like, yeah, money, we need money to survive. You need money to pay bills. You need money to live. But also, like, the material stuff, it ain't, where's it going? Where's it going? It didn't go with her. You know what I mean? Like, and even J. Cole says it in his song, I think ATM, can't take it when you die, but you can't live without it. You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
Wow. And that just makes me like realize the true meaning of life is having these relationships that we have with one another, truly cherishing the moments that we have together. The things that are unseen is what matters the most.
Yeah, and experience. Having experiences that you can look back on one day and be like, yo, life changing, you know what I mean? Or just living years of your life that are formative into who you are and who you have become. Like that's important more than anything, for sure.
Wow, this was powerful. This was powerful. We gotta leave it right there, because that was just ending it right there, man. Just knowing this true meaning of life, because right now they got us just so driven in this material realm, but it really is making us truly distracted from the purpose of loving one another and being present each and every moment.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely second that. I second that 1000%.
Man, can you tell us where we can just stay connected with you? Just shameless plug it right here. Shame plug.
So follow me on Instagram and Clubhouse at Bryshan JW. That is BRYSHAN JW. My mother also has an eyelash brand. So ladies, if you're into that and you're into the makeup and all that, follow her, Lashes by Lashes with a Z, on Instagram. For all your eyelash needs. And check me out. I'm, Instagram, I'm definitely working on just putting more content up in general, monologue, stuff like that. But check me out on Clubhouse too, because I'm trying to get in more of these rooms. I want to have more great conversations. Some of the conversations on Clubhouse are insane, but I do enjoy the app. I'll be seeing you on there.
Man, Clubhouse is literally like a podcast, but I have a podcast. So I'm like, we got to, do you want to do a club? I'm like, no, let's bring it to the podcast.
Here. Okay. And I love that. I love that. Cause I was like, me and Tara could have a Clubhouse room and it could be a little situation. But but I was like, I've always wanted to come on Take the Lead and Bag Talk session. You know what I mean? And cause I see you and like, it's so crazy because I see you interview some people that we both know. And it's just like, where we are where we're meant to be, Tara. You know what I mean? Like, we are, because of just the environments that we're in, our peers. Like, we are, where else would we be? Where else would you be? Where else would I be? Like, You know what I mean?
I'm telling you, just how our journey is just so divine and attached and aligned together. Like,
Yeah.
we can't fight it. Like, just
No.
how it's not a coincidence when you constantly run into the same people. It's a
No.
victory at the end of the day. I think I forget what Drake's line say. If you run into us, it's honestly a victory lap because we made it, we doing it, and we just gotta keep pursuing the calling in our life. And I would love for you to just leave us with some encouraging words of just keeping this momentum, keeping this same energy for 2021.
Yeah, for sure. No, most def. Keeping that same energy. You don't got to start tomorrow. Start today. Start tonight with whatever it is you want to do. You know, I'm preaching to the choir too with that. Just start today. It's never too late to start anything either. You know what I mean? Know that you are enough. You are worthy, and that even if you've been through the worst of the worst, it wasn't for nothing. You know what I mean? There's a reason, but pretty much behind everything. And if you can be reflective and open enough to know that, you know what I mean, it can be a good feeling. So yeah, just trust yourself, listen to yourself, you know what I mean, and know that, again, like I said, you are worthy, you are enough, and the people who see it will see it.
That was powerful. You are enough. Trust in yourself, and the people who will see it will see it, and you cannot be it. Man, I just love you so much.
I love you too. I'm glad we did this.
Necessary. And I just want to thank our listeners as well for tuning in, tapping in, and we gonna meet you at the top, baby.